regular season as we stand now on the doorstep of postseason play. Two teams meet again here at Lemoy Field, the first round of the CACC Conference Tournament. Ready to kick off here with the number 4-seeded Post Eagles and the number 5-seeded Holy Family Tigers. From the campus of Post University, Patrick Rudberg excited to be here for some playoff lacrosse. Post men's lacrosse hosting the first round of the conference tournament, just like they did last season, qualifying as the number 4 seed in the CACC, coming off an 8-9 loss versus Chestnut Hill in the regular season finale on Wednesday. Had a chance to move higher above Bridgeport for that 3 seed. Instead, they'll have to play their way into the semifinals against Holy Family today. Come in at 9-6, 5-3 in the conference. Holy Family on the other side, also coming off a loss, 11-26 defeat against Wilmington, number 1 seed in the CACC. 7-6, 4-4 in conference play. They have one of the most potent offenses in the conference. Some players to watch out for that are at the top of a lot of statistical categories, and we'll be talking about a lot of them as we get started here. Both teams meeting in the circle. Give you the starting lineups first for the visiting Tigers. In goal, Adam Wickel, the freshman from Louisville, Kentucky. In front of him, Jake Feeney, Matt Goff, Xander Kelly, Noah Simpson, Logan O'Keefe, Jacob Turk, James Bania, Parker Smith, and Jackson Brown. Tigers are coached by head coach Noah Morris in his 3rd season. Has been there in all 3 years of the Tigers program history. Post starts with Aiden Waller in goal, the sophomore from Little Britain, Ontario. Charlie Foster, Luke Karras, John Karras, Ryan Denike, Leighton Cook, Gavin Lee, Zane Parento, Kyle Such, and Cam Maunders joining him in the starting lineup. And we will begin at the face-off X, an area that will be so crucial to today's matchup. And Charlie Foster wins it for the Eagles to get us going here. CACC Conference Tournament underway in Waterbury. Charlie Foster has been a machine at the face-off X as of late. His last 4 games, 52 of 73. That's good for 71%. That has allowed Eagles to multiply their possessions and create more in this area. Keegan Swain, the other face-off specialist for Coach Iannarelli. Maunders operating at X, trying to move above GLE. Slips, tosses it over to Ryan Denike. Now back for Swain. Both these teams with a lot of youth. Not too many upperclassmen in the starting lineups. And an early goal, a bouncer that gets past Wickel, Leighton Cook. The Eagles' leading goal scorer gets Post on the board just over a minute into the first. Cook takes it on that left side. Has a lane. Just bounces it through the legs of Adam Wickel. Last week was named the CACC Rookie of the Week for his performances. 2 wins for the Tigers, a .679 save percentage in those 2 games. A whistle going against Charlie Foster in the face-off. So Holy Family with their first chance on the attack. This group is first in goals per game, shots per game, and shots on goal per game. They also lead the conference in assists per game. Here's Xander Kelly. An early rip zips over the crossbar. Parker Smith, the freshman from Dover, Delaware. They'll restart with James Bania. Operating at X, feeds up top. Now over for Jake Feeney. One of the names to look out for, Feeney. But for now, Xander Kelly, the guy doing the work for the visitors. He beats Aiden Waller and levels up the score early. Xander Kelly, goal number 21 on the season. He has 3+ points in 8 games this year. And another whistle in the face-off. It was Keegan Swain that time in there for post. Gives Holy Family another look here on the attack. It's with Jaden Williams. Another angling shot. Stay with the Tigers. And James Bania muscling his way through, guarded closely by Such. And up top for Jake Feeney. In the game against Post 3 weeks ago, Jake Feeney, 7 goals in the losing effort. A game where Holy Family was up 8-6 at the half, and there's a save, his first for Waller. Post wins that one 14-13. They were up 14-10. Tigers tried to make a comeback in the final 5 minutes, but fell up just short. 2 of those final 3 goals coming from Jake Feeney. Swain walks in again. Sizing up Gargan. Lets it rip and hits it top corner. A beautiful shot from Keegan Swain. Twelfth goal of the season for Keegan Swain, the Parker, Colorado product. Another one of these underclassmen that has proved so valuable for Pat Iannarelli. I've gotten a chance to speak with Coach Iannarelli. He said how young this group is and the learning that they have gone through this season, including games like last Wednesday, the loss against Chestnut Hill. Did a lot of things right, but still a couple errors that might pop up when you have these close games with a young team. They might be more prone to making some mistakes. All areas for growth and learning. And despite ending the regular season with a loss, Pat Iannarelli said that the overall spirit has been really good in practice the last couple days. Very lively sessions. Edward Weshy, stripped from behind by Galvao. Sticks with Chase Thondal at X with 20 to shoot. Moving above GLE. Cook. Maunders pressured. Flipped over for Thondal. Ball down, 5 seconds. And turned right back over to Post, and because of that, they get a fresh shot clock. Ryan Denike shrugs off some contact. And the Eagles can continue to just hold on to it here. With Thondal, freshman from Winnipeg. A lot of Canadians in this group. A cold, rainy day for late April here in Waterbury. Rain has lightened up just a bit. Heavier during pregame warm-ups. Working far side, diving shot, saved by Wickel. Kelly and the Tigers get it across. It was Weshy with that diving shot attempt. Testing Wickel. More pressure towards the cage. Banya to restart with Parker Smith. Badgered by Gallery. Works off a shot that skips in behind. Again, James Banya, the junior from New York. Moving up now, skip pass. Kay's back over for Banya. High shot beats Waller. Leveled up 2 apiece, 8:26 in the first quarter. James Banya, goal number 25 on the season. Leads the team in assists with 21. He has been hot as of late. Coming into today's game, 17 points in his last 3 games. A threat to look out for in addition to Jake Feeney and number 14, Noah Simpson. Simpson, who leads the team in goals and points. As the Tigers restart here, heading towards 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. They're with Feeney. Williams. Thrown behind now, moving up. Bouncing shot. Wide. Rehandled, and another shot goes wide. You can see why the Tigers sit atop the CACC in shots total, let alone shots on goal. They produce so much pressure. .30 seconds to shoot. Tight angle, saved by Waller. Jaden Williams with the shot there near side. He'll apply some pressure on the clear attempt. Drawing the penalty was Zane Parento, who somersaulted through all that traffic and gets it across. A flag is down on the field. Ball out of play. Referees confer. One-minute penalty on Jaden Williams. Illegal body check on number 22. So with Williams aside, Post on the man up here on the power play. Second in the conference in man up percentage, 41%. There's a rip off the post. Swain from the same area where he scored just earlier. Maunders draws a foul. Back-to-back penalties. That one against Logan O'Keefe. One of the core members of this defensive unit for Coach Morris. Prime chance for Post to retake the lead. And they do just that. Cam Maunders, a low bouncing shot. Eagles lead 3-2. The only team better than Post in those man-up situations is Holy Family, 45.8% on the season. Top two teams in that category. This will be a big question of who can stay off the penalties as Foster takes it from the face-off X all the way. First goal of the season for Charlie Foster, who's been a machine at the face-off X. Back-to-back goals for Post. Just 9 seconds apart. And both sidelines are very loud and pumped up. As you would expect here in a postseason game. Deflection from Lee. It's that youthful exuberance, the excitement, and the energy that this Eagles group has brought this season, always making so much noise. Only 4 upperclassmen in the starting lineup today. Everybody else, sophomore and freshman. Kelly bounces it past Waller. 2 goals in the quarter for Xander Kelly. Cuts the deficit in half for Holy Family. 5:18 to go in the first. Big response from Kelly and the Tigers. 42 seconds after Foster's goal. Keegan Swain this time at the face-off X for Post. Battling there with Frank Britch. Wins the face-off for the Tigers. Back-to-back chances in the offensive zone. There's Noah Simpson with it now on the far side. Leads the conference in goals per game with 4. Total goals, 52. First in points per game and in shots per game. Passes off. Kept along and spinning as Feeney finds a teammate who works off a shot. And Nick Gargan ties it right back up as these two teams battle back and forth. I have a feeling this is going to be the way it will go for the entire 60 minutes. Noah Morris, when I spoke with him yesterday, said just that it's going to be a matter of who's going to control the run, step up, and stop the other team from going on those runs. That's how the game 3 weeks ago went, where Post was down 8-6. They build up that 4-goal lead, and Holy Family gets 3 late, but runs out of time. A lot of contact right along the near sideline. Parento getting whacked. Gave up possession. Andrew Kays. Flip behind. But too far wide of Feeney. Can't keep it in play. Holy Family leading 7-4 in shots on goal. 12-6 in shots total. Now some room for Roman. Over for Denike, who couldn't handle it. Now the long stick, Jackson Brown. Across in transition. They're so good in these areas, but that shot too high. Bania is one of the areas that Pat Iannarelli talked about. That transition game. Tigers draw a penalty. Save from Waller. John Karras will hold it. But that will begin the man-up chance for Holy Family. So hold on John Karras. 30-second power play. Smith up for Feeney. Feeney, low pass, smothered. Waller for Luke Karras. Luke and John Karras holding it down. And this defensive unit for Post this season. Swain across. Penalty is over. Swain at X. Watched by Donnelly. A shimmy from Swain. Picked back up by O'Keefe. Denike. Wanting some space, flips behind. Roman. Cook. 10 seconds, low shot, whipped past for a score. Ryan Denike. Post, a 5-4 lead, 1:41 remaining in the first. Patient offensive play. Pat Iannarelli complimented the play of Adam Wickel this season. They have a goalie who can take over the net if you give him confidence, and to avoid that, they have to shoot smart and halt some of their transition, of course, but it's a question and a goal of not just shooting every single time you have a lane, because the more shots you throw on there that are more low percentage, that just gives the goalie confidence. That time just had a couple chances to fire off a shot. They wait for the good look, and they get it. And Tanaik reaches the 20-goal mark this season, the senior from Putnam Valley, New York. Now 78 goals in his post-career, heading towards the 200-point mark. He's now at 194, Tanaik is. And Post, another chance on the man up. O'Keefe whistled. Cook for Bryan. Swain. Pass in front. Maunders couldn't handle. Trying to apply pressure there on Wickel. Still 30 seconds on the penalty as we're under a minute to play here in the first. Maunders still badgering Wickel all the way close to midfield. Enters it across Bradley Smith. Can't hold on. They will likely take possession into the second quarter as the final seconds tick away on the O'Keefe penalty. 20 seconds now with Xander Kelly. 2 goals already this quarter. Forces a save out of Waller. Pressured by a couple opponents. Long pass ahead. 1.5 seconds left. That'll just about do it. Brown will hold on. One final heave to wrap up quarter number 1. Post with a narrow 1-goal advantage over Holy Family in the first round of the CACC Conference Tournament. The Eagles lead 5-4 over the Tigers here in Waterbury. Start of the second quarter. At the faceoff X, Charlie Foster. Trying to get back possession for the Eagles as they start with a 1-goal lead. Instead, Holy Family, helped by Frank Britch. And the faceoff X have a chance to tie this one up. First quarter stats, 8-5 shots on goal for Holy Family. Tigers have cost 4 turnovers to Post's 1. Post with 7 turnovers in the first 15 minutes. And there's a good combination. Noah Simpson gets his first goal of the afternoon. Ties it back up 5 apiece, 30 seconds into the second quarter. Talk about those 7 turnovers for the Eagles in the first quarter. They're typically towards the top of the conference in limiting turnovers per game. 18.3 to Holy Family's 20.3, which puts them at 6th place, just about middle of the group. And Britch with another win in the draw. Right after that, an errant pass looking for Aiden Donnelly. Gives it right back to Post. And as of now, the Tigers with a 7-5 advantage in the faceoffs. They've won 7 of the 12, just over 50%. That's another area where both coaches want to win the edge. Post has been the better team at the faceoff X all season, thanks to the play of Charlie Foster and Keegan Swain. Third in the CACC. And Ryan Denike, point blank, no one covering him, hit the post. Donnelly evading. A huge chance for the Eagles. Denike already with 1 goal this afternoon. Matt Goff, the redshirt freshman, flips over for Nick Gargan. Gargan with a goal already. Intercepted pass. Luke Karras going coast to coast. Denike with a rip and a save. Transition the other way. Jaden Williams. Bania. Big save, Waller. Back the other way we go. Christopher Teresi. Slowing it down. Passed over to Denike. Finally slow down that sequence. It was back-to-back-to-back rushes in transition. Something that Post practice the last couple days, going up against a team that is very talented and dangerous in those moments. Maunders quickly for Swain. Swain's pass tipped and taken away. Through the midfield, John Henson. Flags fly. There'll be a penalty coming up. In the meantime, Xander Kelly and the Tigers try and find something and take the lead here. Penetrating pass did not reach Bania. Well, that will trigger the start of the man up. Holy Family has not led yet today. Swain with a 30-second penalty issued against him. Offsides. Post led 4-2 after Charlie Foster scored Post's second goal in 9 seconds. Off the crossbar. Matt Goff goes bar down. Feeney with a rip and beats Waller through the legs. The Eagles trail for the first time today. It's Xander Kelly helping there, eventually finding Jake Feeney on the man up, assisted by Simpson. So that dynamic duo of Feeney and Simpson Foster with a much-needed face-off win. Lost possession for a second. Parento helps it over for Gavin Lee. Back for Parento. Eventually finds Edward Weshy. The winner of this one will go on to face the number 1 seed Wilmington. Wildcats wrapped up the conference with a perfect 8-0 record. And what a goal there! Danike. A bit of an alley-oop at the back post. Tipped off the crossbar and restores parity. So we go back and forth deeper into the second quarter. The 5th tie of the game already. 1-1, 2-2, 4-piece, 5 apiece, and now 6-6. Foster back-to-back face-off wins. But Simpson strips. Transition pass. Couldn't find Bania. Bania was cutting. The pass was a bit too behind. Another turnover. Feeney trying to shrug off Karras, spinning, bouncing. Bounced too far in front and went over the crossbar. Restart with Simpson. Now double-digit turnovers for Post. 10-5 in that category. Another shot going overhead. Xander Kelly that time. Bania moving up above GLE. Goff scores. Holy Family reestablishes their lead. 9:18 to go in quarter number 2. Matt Goff, his first goal of the day. Goal number 9 on the season. He had 2 goals in the game 3 weeks ago against Post. Quick win in the face-off X. Again by Frank Britch. Noah Morris will take a timeout. And the Tigers lead 7-6, trying to make it more here coming out of the timeout. Holy Family Tigers leading 7-6, their second lead of the afternoon. Drew something up out of the timeout. Andrew Kays tried the short pass for the cutting Kelly. It's kept alive by Feeney. Smith met with some pressure. Low shot. Scooped up on the short hop. Waller now forced to evade the pressure of Feeney. Bainey now barreling up against Karras. He'll race past the halfway line. But an errant pass again in the exchange. Karras to Denike. William Henley and Rob Torelli, defensive substitutes in for Pat Iannarelli. Goff sizing things up here. Such a tight game so far. Biggest lead was when Post led 4-2. Low shot that misses right. Feeney backing down Karras. Williams mishandled by Simpson. Batted forward by Henley. Right along the midfield line. And claimed by Cook. Maunders thought about attacking. He'll hold up. Cam Maunders had a massive game against Holy Family 3 weeks ago. 5 goals and an assist. Tied for the team lead in goals on the man up. Roman. Tight angle. Beats Wickel. Wow. What a sharp angle there. Not a problem for Roman. And ties it back up 7-7. A goal and an assist for Gabe Roman. Had a 3-game scoring streak snapped in Wednesday's loss versus Chestnut Hill. He's another one of these pieces in the Eagles attack. Junior from Meriden, Connecticut. 13 goals on the year now. Transferred over from Eastern Connecticut. Tigers still with a minimal advantage at the faceoff X. 9 of 16 so far. Banya left to right for Kays. Bouncing pass. Might have hit the post there on the Kelly shot. Moving up is Feeney. And a wayward shot. That one soaring well above the crossbar. Banya to restart, moving up GLE. Bodies fly, and Kelly scoring again. Beats Waller low. Holy Family, every time Post scores and levels it up, they respond. They've dominated in the shots total, 27-12, 14-9 shots on goal. And for Kelly, his third goal of the half. Now 9 games this season with 3+ points. He had a high of 6 points against AIC. And their win back a couple weeks ago in mid-April. Eagles win a faceoff. They take a timeout. Try to level things back up here. 5:32 remaining in the first half. Holy Family leads 8-7 in the first round of CACC conference play. Gabe Roman and the Eagles on the attack, trailing by 1. What has been such an evenly played game so far. Keegan Swain, quick pass and a quick shot low. Will Bryan gets on the scoreboard. Timeout pays off, and we're tied 8-8. The 7th tie so far. This is feeling like it's going to go down right to the wire, just like it did a couple weekends ago. Quick face-off win. Britch decided to shoot that time. Waller with another save. Across for Denike. Maunders now with possession. Now Grippo as the rain's starting to come back down. Penalty flags on the field. So a man-up opportunity is going to come up in a little bit. Next time Holy Family has possession. Chase Thondel with the low shot. Wickel saves. And that will spark the penalty here. We'll see what the referees indicate. A 1-minute penalty on Aiden Donnelly. A slashing call. So an extra man chance for Maunders and the Eagles attack. At X with Cook. Around the horn, Swain. Roman for Cook. Maunders misses high. Caught some contact on the follow-through. And Holy Family comes away with possession on the loose ground ball. Went out of play. 30 seconds to go on the Donnelly infraction. Feeney was stripped. Eagles win it back. Maunder some space on the left side. Roman back for Maunders. Tried the skip pass for Bryan, who lost his stick. Back to even strength. Fake pass, Bradley Smith maneuvering through the midfield and over for Williams. Williams, the sophomore from Mays Landing, New Jersey, making his 8th appearance of the season. 5 goals and 8 assists for the Midi. Tigers looking to reestablish another 1-goal lead. It's been the pattern this whole quarter. Over the net. Goff with the shot. It has one of the goals this quarter for the Tigers. Above GLE. Banya rips. But off the mark again. Only 14 seconds to shoot. Williams. Goff. Wide again. 9 seconds for a shot on goal. Gargan, watched by Gallery. Had it stripped. Simpson, shot is not in time. Wasn't on target anyway. Final 2:15 of the first half. Playing out very similar to the first game between these two teams in the regular season. A hotly contested, tight battle here. Not a lot of separation. Knotted up 8 goals apiece. Already 16 goals between the two teams. It was a 27-goal thriller last time. Grippo thought about a shot. Spinning, Weshy. Grippo fake shot, now releases. Hit a body on the way towards the net. Restart. Thondel off the side of the cage. And that one trickles in through the crease. Referees say good goal. Wow. Let's see who they credit that to. It was a pass from behind at X, fed towards the center, and the ground ball just trickled past Adam Wickel. They'll give it to Leighton Cook. The aforementioned Eagles leading goal scorer and point getter. His second goal of the game. Post. Leads 9-8. Scrum out of the face-off. Britch trying to grab it. Badgered there by Gavin Lee. Feeney holds possession. Noah Morris takes a timeout. 1:07 to go in the first half. The Eagles lead 9-8. 107 remaining in the second quarter in the first half. We saw Pat Iannarelli and the post sideline draw up a goal out of a timeout. Led to the Will Bryan goal earlier this quarter. As Noah Morris and the coaching staff done the same here. Under a minute to go. Eagles leading 9-8. Feeney dodging, shooting. Tipped off the shaft of Waller's stick. Shot clock not a factor. Bouncing low. Kays tried to dribble it through. Turf might be more wet than it normally is, of course, with the rain. Maybe harder to handle. Something to keep in mind. Skip off the turf. Looking for the pass to Simpson. Is cutting up above GLE. Final 20 seconds. Does Post get aggressive here? Looks like they might. Will Bryan. Timeout. 12.4 seconds. Eagles will try to match the largest lead of the game. As of now, a 1-goal advantage in the last seconds of the first half. Final 12.4 seconds. We'll start on the near side with Will Bryan. 8 seconds. Barreling in, Bryan. Behind, back up. Shot was deflected. That'll wrap up the first half of play. Post with a narrow 9-8 lead heading into the break. It's been a tight affair all through the first 30 minutes. You got to expect it'll be the same all the way to the end. Here in the first round of the CACC Conference Tournament from Lemoy Field. We'll be back for the second half of play. Second half of action ready to go here in Waterbury. It's been an excellent game so far. A very tight one between Post and Holy Family in the first round of the CACC Conference Tournament. 4 and 5 seeds playing for the right to play in the semifinals versus the number 1 seed Wilmington. Largest lead in the game is only 2. When Post led 4-2 earlier in the first half. And looking at the future opponent of the team that wins this one, Wilmington, a perfect record in conference play. Holy Family finished the regular season playing against the Wildcats. They lost that 11-26. Post fared a little bit better, losing 7-10 back on March 14th. And they would love to get another crack at the number 1 seed who ended their season last year in that same game in the semifinals, 10-25. Same exact situation, a 1 versus 4. And Cam Maunders, the low scoop shot, doubles the Eagles' advantage and gets them to the double-digit mark, 10-8. Start quarter number 3, 59 seconds in. Cameron Maunders, 2 goals on the afternoon. 32 in total for the freshman from Ottawa. Now a 7-game goal streak. Scored 14 in that stretch, so a 2 goals per game clip. Rich, another face-off win. An area that Pat Iannarelli had talked about wanting to control, but it's been the Tigers who've led there. 13 out of 21 face-offs on the way of Holy Family. Team that's only 7th in terms of face-off percentage, under 40%. Post a little bit higher up there, 54.2. Good enough for 3rd in the CACC. Ball bounces high off the turf. Off the initial save by Waller. Aiden Waller, 9 saves already in the first half, plus the first 2 minutes here in quarter number 3. Another skipped shot. Tigers with the ball. Waller with those 9 saves, approaching the double-digit mark. He's already done that 9 times this season, including 11 saves versus Holy Family on April 4th. He had a high of 18 versus DeUval on Senior Day. That low-scoring 5-6 loss. Another one of these underclassmen, a sophomore. He's done tremendous work for Pat Iannarelli and this group in 2026. Eagles test Wickel again, and he responds. A big inflection point here. Tigers trailing by 2. Of course, so much game time left. But in the context of this game, it is a big lead, but not for long as Williams scores one for Holy Family. And we're back to a 1-goal game. Mentioned how Noah Morris spoke to the importance of limiting runs and not letting one team get too far ahead or get too hot in a certain stretch. And both teams have taken that to heart. Little to no separation fact that a 2-goal lead is something to be concerned about or something that sticks out. Tells you how close this game has been so far. Almost 4 minutes into the third quarter. Eagles win the faceoff. And Andrew Grippo sizing up his opponent here. Guarded by Galval. Weshy thought about flipping it over to Thondel. The pass to Grippo almost intercepted by Galval. Still a lot of time to get a shot on target. Almost let it fly there. Pass in close. Maunders. Backhand scores! 2 goals in the quarter for Cam Maunders. Post again with a 2-goal lead, 11-9. Cameron Maunders, 5 goals versus Holy Family in the regular season. Now a team leading 3 this afternoon. Foster wins the faceoff. It was Bradley Smith that time in for the Tigers. Karras flips over to Waller. Now John Karras has it taken away. Feeney one-on-one and converts. The solo effort. Jake Feeney, the strip and the score. Back and forth we go. Holy Family 10, Post 11. Becoming really hard to imagine any version of the final 25 minutes where one of these teams runs away with it. Could very easily go down to the very last possession. Feels like a basketball game where both teams are trading buckets. It's a matter of who has the final possession in the last minute. That's what it could be here. And the Eagles have played through a lot of close games. The last 4 games are 2-2, but the 2 losses they've suffered have been 1-goal losses to D'Youville and Chestnut Hill. And Maunders again getting on the score sheet. Receives the skip pass. Finds a 12th for Post as the penalty flags had flown. Cameron Maunders with the Eagles' last 3 goals, all in this quarter. Scored back in the first quarter that made it 3-2. But the freshman is taking over in this third frame. With those penalties, now a 1-minute man-up advantage. Coming out of the face-off, Foster trying to corral it. Smith poking, but Foster taking away. Penalty on John Henson of the Tigers. Roman and Bryan coming on as offensive subs. Now Swain joining the fray. More room to operate on the man advantage. Bryan, tight angle along the GLE. Rowan back for Denike. Swain. Bryan whips one high. 8 seconds on the player up. Restart with Maunders. Cook. Swain scores! Another goal on the man up for the Eagles. The largest lead of the game, 13-10. Keegan Swain now with 2 goals today. 1 second left on the penalty. Foster barreling through, winning another faceoff. He's been hot this quarter. Now it's hot potato along the turf. And Britch eventually coming away with possession. Watched closely by Denike from behind. Ball down. Remains with Holy Family and Feeney. As we approach the halfway mark in the third quarter, looking at the stats, Post has evened up the shots on goal battle, 19-17 in favor of Holy Family. Still leading in total shots on the Tigers, 37-25. Turnovers have also dried up, 14-10 Post. So much wider mark before. Just looking at the third quarter alone as the Eagles with another chance on the attack. 5-3 shots on goal for the home team. The number 4 seed in the CACC back-to-back years. They beat Bridgeport last year in this game, 15-12. They went on to face Wilmington, lost by 15. This year mirroring that year in a lot of similar ways. Just by the course of the way this postseason could shake out. Bryan had a lane. Tossed over to Cook. And now Swain. Cook dodges. Tight angle from Roman, who had scored from a similar angle in the first half. Only 11 seconds to get a shot on goal for Maunders and company. Yeah, skips it through the whole crowd. Holy Family and Kelly enter the zone. This is a Tigers program that is only in their third year of existence. What a rise they've had under Noah Morris. 2-13 their first season. 9-7 last year, where they were the first team out of postseason, narrowly missing last year. And they qualify as the final team in 2026. 7-6 record, 4-4 in the conference. They're 5-2 on the road this year. One of those losses being here at Lemoy Field 3 weeks ago. The Nike shot blocked. Just eaten up by Turk. who's tripped up as he hands off to Kelly. Still down behind the play. Kelly past Karras. A lane, a shot. And a save. There's a hesitation there. A penalty is coming up against Post. Chance for the Tigers man-up group to go to work. Again, the highest percentage on these chances among the teams in the CACC. 45.8% entering today. Leighton Cook, a slashing penalty. 1 minute. Holy Family trails by 3, the largest lead of the day for either team. Swung around the horn. Feeney rips wide. Restart with Gargan. Already has a goal today. Inside pass, and Goff converts. On the player up. Cuts the deficit to 2. 4:40 to go in the third quarter. Two goals today for Matt Goff, the redshirt freshman. Now reaches 10 goals on the season. He scored in his last 7 appearances. Played in 10 games total now. And has a goal in the last 7 of those. Faceoffs have also evened up since the third quarter's begun. 14 for Holy Family, 13 for Post. So the narrowest of margins there. After it looked like Frank Britch and those faceoff specialists for the Tigers were going to take this game over in that aspect. Swain for Bryan, shoots. Scooped up. Adam Wickel with 5 saves. Waller has 10. So another double-digit save performance for the sophomore, who will meet the latest attempt from Feeney and the Tigers here. He's doubled, splits it, passes in front, and a beautiful goal for James Bania. Jumping through the crease on the assist from Jake Feeney. Second goal for Bania. Has 2 assists to go with it. Team lead in assists with 23. On the 50-50, the Tigers win back possession. Now a chance to tie it up. Holy Family trailed 13-10, which was the largest lead of the game only 3 or 4 minutes ago. A chance to tie it with Simpson. Bania swings it around. A shot goes just wide. Feeney with another shot attempt. He's got 8 so far. Tied for the lead with Bania. And no surprise, they lead the conference in shots and shots on goal. I've seen that all throughout today's game. And a whistle gives it back to Post. John Karras maneuvering through the midfield. Over for Maunders. 3 goals this quarter. Had 3 straight coming out of the break. Draws a whistle. Swain thought about a shot. Watched by Galvao. Roman for Bryan, who scores. A patient play from the Eagles. They restore their 2-goal lead, 14-12. 97 seconds to go in the third quarter. First goal of the afternoon for Will Bryan. 29th goal of the season for the Oshawa, Ontario native. Britch wins a face-off. Transition chance that is capitalized by Aiden Donnelly. The Tigers respond right away. 18 seconds after conceding the Bryan goal, Holy Family narrows the deficit. This matches the final score of the last game between Post and Holy Family. And we've still got 16 minutes remaining. A 27-goal game that time. Will not be surprised if we see both these teams reach the 20-goal mark. Only Aiden Donnelly's second goal of the season. Freshman from Doylestown, PA. Final 50 seconds of the third. Shot clock not a factor. As Gabe Roman shifts back. Off for Swain. Backing down, now pressured. Draws in some opponents. Swain pass down low, back up top. Skip pass, Cook. His shot goes wide, a flag coming in. The Eagles will have what looks like a man-up advantage for the final 25 seconds and potentially more. So, contact to the head was the call against Nicholas Macchiarella. $20 seconds left. Looks like Keegan Swain is going to hold this one. So we will head into the fourth quarter with Post holding on to a 1-goal lead. It's been that way the entire afternoon. And the Eagles will have a chance on the man up when we start the fourth quarter. Eagles lead 14-13 over Holy Family in the first round of the CACC Conference Tournament. Start of the fourth quarter. Post now going from right to left. 1:30 on the man up. Coming off the Macariella contact to the head penalty. Roman looking for a pass. Bryan with a dodge and a goal. Beats Wickle high. Doubling the lead again for Post, 15-13. Will Bryan assisted by Gabe Roman. And it's 2 straight goals for Bryan, both assisted by Roman. Charlie Foster, another big face-off win. Misses the pass to Parento. 7 ties in this game. The largest lead has been 3, which Post has had a couple times. Holy Family's biggest lead has been 1. They held a couple times in the middle part of this one. Through most of the second quarter. Now chance on the man up. Penalty on Tomas Simunovic. Kelly waiting. Back to even strength. Kelly's pass is high overhead. He's looking for Bania behind. Macariella. Penalty is over. Will Bryan scores on the man up. Shots on goal 23-20. Holy Family leading there, but Post with a 2-goal lead. Turnovers have been relatively even, 17-15. Post committing 2 more. The Eagles with 3 goals from the man up. Thanks to a lot of penalties committed by the Tigers today. 7. Swain, far side, held up. Below GLE now, it's Ryan Denike. Denike shrugs off an opponent, looking for the top corner. A huge save from Adam Wickel. And the pass was off the mark. Just trying to clear John Henson. Couldn't keep it in bounds. Eagles back with it. Swain forced to step back here. Plenty of time on the shot clock. It's a pick from Roman. Towards the end of the regular season battle between these two, Post had a 14-10 lead that dwindled down the final minutes. Holy Family, 3 straight goals. They could not find a tying one. Sort of a similar situation here with a 2-goal lead. Now only 20 seconds to shoot. Can Keegan Swain, this attack, find another? Looking unlikely, as with 6 seconds, Cook's got to go. Really tight angle, bounces overhead. That will essentially be the end of the possession. There's actually a penalty coming in. It's going to be against Macariella again. This time a slash. 1 minute. That gives the Eagles attack life. Swain. Cook. Swung around. Back up for Swain. Mishandled initially. Forced to go all the way back towards the circle. Flags fly. We'll wait for the referees to sort this out. But every ref from every angle had their flag flying. 10:16 to go in the fourth. Still 27 seconds on the Macariella penalty. So offsetting penalties. It's going to be on Keegan Swain for cross-check. And then the Holy Family penalty is an unnecessary roughness. That one against John Henson. So 2 out for the Tigers, 1 out for the Eagles. Finding Jaden Williams. Looks like he's going to let the final 10 seconds of the Macariella penalty tick down. Goff entering the offensive zone. For the backhand shot there, Bania. Both teams with a man down. 18 seconds on the offsetting penalties. Swain and Henson. Scoop shot. Waller holds up strong. A fresh shot clock with 8 seconds on the penalties. Looks like there's going to be a penalty on Holy Family, it looks like. Referee's waiting to restart the play. Nothing confirmed yet. So 8 seconds. Moving above GLE with Simpson, who was hounded there by Karras and company. Had it stripped, but it was able to find it and flip it over to Waller. Flag behind the play. Henley gets it across now with Dunike. So a flag behind. Been a choppy last couple minutes. $13 penalties between the two teams. Edward Weshy had a step for a minute. Almost towards the halfway point in quarter number 4. Holy Family touches it, and that will start the man-up chance here. So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Matt Goff. 1 minute against him. And Post, who already has 3 goals with an extra man today, has a chance for another and a chance to grow their 2-goal lead to 3, which in the context of this game is a big lead, considering it's been a tie game or a 1-goal game for most of the day. Swung around right to left, inside looking for Bryan. Cook was stripped on the shot. He found the initial rebound. Maunders finds it again. 25 seconds. Bryan back for Dunike. The pass that was intended for Maunders goes out of play. 8 seconds on the penalty. 9 seconds to shoot. Maunders has to hurry. Another deflected pass. Shot clock expires. Penalty is over. And the Tigers defense stands up. They trail by 2. Their first postseason berth in their very young 3-year history as a lacrosse program. Talked about the growth they've had over their 3 years. 2-13 in 2023. Just missed out last year. And Swain and this post attack, another chance to stretch out the lead. Things have slowed up a little bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Halfway through the fourth. Only one goal so far this quarter. Transition chance for Holy Family. Bradley Smith across. And Noah Morris will take a timeout. Facing a 2-goal deficit. 6:30 to go in the fourth quarter here from Lemoy Field. Holy Family takes the timeout. And now, after drawing something up, trying to find goal number 14. It's been a tall task today against Aiden Waller. 11 saves so far this afternoon. Simpson lost a handle of it. Waller can spark the clear. Lee across with no pressure. And Holy Family unable to draw up a goal coming out of that timeout. Almost every single statistical category has been very even today. Bryan with some space. Overhead shot handled by Wickel. That's a huge save for the freshman. Keeps it a 2-goal game. Transition. Kelly. Smith's shot was blocked. John Karras in there. Out of bounds. Stays with Smith and the Tigers. Kelly. Shot over. They find one on the follow-up. Simpson gets another on the board for his tally today. Back to a 1-goal game. You have to think this one is going to go down to the final minutes. Simpson 2 goals, 2 assists today. Kelly leads the Tigers with 3 goals. Maunders leads Post with 4, including that 3-goal consecutive stretch to start the second half. Tie up at the face-off X. Henley battling. Rolls all the way along into the offensive zone. Eagles get possession, and they'll take a timeout. Up 1 goal, 4:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. First round of CACC conference tournament play. The winner will face Wilmington in the semifinal. The other semifinal, the number 2 seed Chestnut Hill and the number 3 Bridgeport already set to go on Wednesday. And the winner of those two will play on May 2nd in the championship game and a ticket to the NCAA tournament. Back-to-back years. Post qualifies as the 4 seed. Last year they beat Bridgeport in the 4-versus-5 game. They lost to Wilmington last year by 15. This year a much closer score, 10-7 loss on March 14th. Holy Family, if they're able to mount this comeback, they would play Wilmington for the second time in about a week. Their last regular season game was against the Wildcats, an 11-26 loss. They're going to need a stop here on the defensive end. Wickel with 7 saves on the day. CACC Rookie of the Week last week in those 2 wins against AIC and Caldwell. But the Tigers up against the wall. Still plenty of time left. 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Out of the timeout. What do the Eagles have here? Swain going up, GLE. Quick pass and a goal. Leighton Cook. The timeout pays off. And the senior makes it 16-14. And 3 goals on the day for Leighton Cook. Keegan Swain with the assist. How about 5 assists today for Keegan Swain? Only had 10 coming into the game. So half the amount that he had all season. Another face-off win for Post. Some room for Lee and company to slow it down. And Charlie Foster just continues to be such a force at the face-off. X 17 for 29. Mentioned in his last 4, he had a 71% face-off win rate. Come on strong in the final stretch of the regular season, the sophomore has. Des Moines, Washington native. Denike. Ball down. And handled. Logan O'Keefe comes away. Jackson Brown can spark a transition here. He'll walk it all the way down. And another timeout by the visitors. Holy Family. A 2-goal deficit. 2:50 left. They need a goal coming out of this timeout. They want to stay alive in this one. The Tigers of Holy Family trailing by 2 goals. 2:50 left coming out of the timeout. Needing a goal here. Pass from Williams deflected. kept alive by Simpson. Kelly for Feeney, bouncing shot through the crease, but out of harm's way. Restart with Jaden Williams. And a big goal there, a response from Goff and the Tigers. Cuts it to 1, 2:27. Second goal for Matt Goff, the redshirt freshman. Now 10 goals on the season for the New Jersey native. And arguably the biggest face-off of the day coming up here. Charlie Foster, 17 for 29 on the day. And make it 18 for 30, almost 60%. Going coast to coast and scoring! His second goal of the afternoon. Same exact situation, same result. Foster plays make it, take it. It's 17-15. This time a hold, and Foster wins it. Pardon, it's going the way of Holy Family. Switch the initial call, 2:10 to go. Parker Smith and the Tigers need one here. Aiden Waller's 11 saves so far. Can he come up with one more? Coming up from GLE. Bouncing Simpson. It finds Bania. Some space. A big save from Waller. Point blank range, and he's fired up. And it looks like there's going to be maybe a delay of game. That time on Luke Karras. It's going to give Holy Family a chance here on the man up. 1:42 to go. "30 seconds. Delay of game on Luke Karras gives Holy Family a lifeline. Feeney, a lot of space, and he does exactly what he needed to do with that. Every time you think this game is over, Holy Family comes knocking on the door again. 17-16. "33 goals between these two teams. If you like offense, this is the game for you." Keegan Swain at the faceoff X for the Eagles this time. Ground ball handled by Parento. Britch pressuring. Swain maneuvers through the gap and is barreled from behind. A flag coming in. His shot hit the post. And Smith's touch will start the extra man opportunity. 1:03 remaining. Let's see how long this penalty is going to last. Only a 30-second penalty on Aiden Donnelly. Takes up essentially half the clock. Ryan DeNike wants to call game. The pass to Maunders off the mark. Jackson Brown and the Tigers. A chance to tie it. 42 seconds. Simpson walks back. In a survey here, Brown racing off. That'll let Xander Kelly back on. The penalty is off. 25 seconds for the Tigers to save their season. Simpson flips, and we've got a tie game. James Bania again at the back post. A beautiful feed from Simpson. 17 apiece, 17 seconds to go. What an ending we've had here. Britch and Foster again in the face-off. And it's Britch who wins it. 10 seconds. They're going to have to go. Feeney. Intercepted by Karras, thrown all the way down. And we are headed to overtime. A thriller here in the first round of the conference tournament. And 60 minutes is not enough. Post and Holy Family tied at 17 all. Overtime coming up in just a bit here. Sudden death overtime. 4 minutes on the clock. The winner goes on to the semifinals. The loser season is done. Holy Family was down 17-15 with 1:30 left. Jake Feeney and James Bania. 2 goals in the final 90 seconds to tie it up. They grab possession here in the midfield out of the face-off. And a chance for their first postseason win in program history. Only 3 years have they existed, and they have had a very impressive rise. And a chance to win here. A big save from Waller. What a save there. Goff trying to end it. Now they'll have to clear. Karras. Coming up from behind was Simpson. Parento across. Cam Maunders. He's got 4 goals today. Leads the Eagles in that category this afternoon. Will Bryan with 2 goals. Keegan Swain, 2 goals and 5 assists for the sophomore. Ryan Denike trying to call game. Tight angle save. Rebound. The skip pass over everyone. Brian, the closest one to it. Some substitutions on for the Tigers. Get the right personnel out there. Lots of noise from both benches. Brian restarts. Maunders back for Cook. Brian lost it for a second. Denike at X. Above for Maunders. 30 seconds on that penalty. All the way down to 7 now. Continuing to swing it around the horn. Back to even strength. Donnelly back on. Brian, an angle, shoots off the post. Low shot from Will Bryan. Game on a razor's edge. Ryan Denike. Can he find a feed here? Swain. 7 points this afternoon. Walk it back. Behind with Roman at X. Operating with 1:10 in the overtime period. Pass for Cook, incomplete. Brown takes it away. In transition. Holy Family takes a timeout, 59.7 seconds. Trying to draw something up here and win it in overtime. Holy Family and Noah Morris took the timeout. A long defensive stand in their own D zone. Now rewarded with a trip here on the other end to try to win this game. Smith. Dodging. Saved by Waller. Again, same position as the Goff shot earlier in the OT period. Waller, 14 saves. He had 11 in the first game against Holy Family. He has been unstoppable in the cage. But now stripped. Quickly the other way, Bania. Low shot, score! And that's it. A sudden death walk-off. Noah Simpson and the Tigers move on to the semifinals in overtime and win this one 18-17. Their first postseason win in program history. Postseason ends in heartbreak. Ending at 9-7, losing in the first round of conference play And Holy Family, the 5 seed, will face Wilmington in the semis on Wednesday, moving on in the CACC Conference Tournament. A fantastic game here this afternoon between Post and Holy Family.